Hi, it's Lisa Marie. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. And if you are returning, thank you so much. I love you guys and I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to be using all Ikea items and you're going to love what I make with them. And this video is also a collaboration with my really good friend Leah Knepp over at DIY Beauty on Purpose, and she's also using Ikea items. And it was kind of fun how we shopped together, so stay tuned. You're going to love it, and let's go. For this project, I'm going to use these little hoops and these little coasters that are made out of cork from Ikea and florals from the Dollar Tree, and also some nautical rope from Walmart. Now these little round white things, there were 12 of them, and they were like on a hanger, and you were going to hang scarves through the holes, if that makes sense, but I cut them apart for this. And then I'm using some white twine just to kind of make them offset. I wanted to pull the top two over, and I will eventually glue that little coaster in that middle one. What I'm going to do now is cut those pics way down to just teeny little pieces, and then I'm going to hot glue them on around each of those little, the top and the bottom hoop, if you will, and make little wreaths. So the bottom one's going to use those little yellow flowers with the leaves, and then the bottom one, well actually one's the top, one's the bottom, doesn't matter, is just going to be greenery. And then I'm going to add some little purple, like, they're not really lavender picks, but like lavender picks. There you go. I'm going to use hot glue all the way around the back and just make sure it's nice and secure in there. Once that is in there really secure, I've got these rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. They've got a lot of really cute new ones, and I happened to find them and I just stocked up. I'm going to take the word home and separate it from the backing, and I'm just going to lay it down. Make sure you don't put your fingers on the actual letters because it will make them come off. And then I'm just going to take something a little bit sharp and pointy and carefully kind of scrape on the back there until it releases and goes onto the cork. And it really didn't take that long. Use the pointy side to pull off the backing, and look at that. Isn't that adorable? The last thing I'm going to do, rub on the letters, make sure that they're really on there nice and secure. Then I'm going to take that rope from Walmart, and I'm going to do two things. I'm going to make a bow with a really long tails, and then I'm going to attach another piece onto it, and I'm going to also wrap it around the back of one of the loops, but I want it to look like it's hanging from a bow, and you'll see that here in a second. It's so cute. It's a gift for my sister-in-law's 50th birthday party. Several items in this video are going to be gifts for her, and I will let you know. Using these Ikea items, so much fun. I hope you guys love these too. If you are enjoying this video, stop what you're doing right now and hit that like button. It really helps YouTube to show my video to more people, and I really appreciate it. This one might be my favorite in the whole video. This is a cutting board from Ikea, and these are rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. Now, I cut out a few of the words that said spring and one that said tiptoe through the tulips. I guess I just didn't particularly like that one. And what I did was I left everything else on there that I really liked, and I kind of positioned to see if it would fit on the cutting board. And then I laid it exactly where I wanted it, and then I took my little scraper tool, and I had to go over every single part. So this was a little time consuming, but oh my gosh, you guys, this is so worth it. This looks so high-end and expensive when it's done, and it's gorgeous. I mentioned in another video that I'm putting together a kind of a, cutting board collection, if you will, and this is going to be one of them. So really fun thing here. I was at Ikea shopping. My friend Leah Knepp from DIY Beauty on Purpose doesn't have an Ikea near her, so I kept sending her pictures of things and talking to her on the phone, and picked up the one she wanted, and that's how we were able to do this video. So I took her along shopping. It was so fun. And I took the S from the word spring that I cut off so that I could have it say S for our last name. Took some polyacrylic one coat by Minwax, did a couple coats on the top, and that's it. That is all it took, and this looks so gorgeous and so expensive. And that cutting board was less than $10, and the transfer was $1.25. I absolutely love this one. I just cannot get over how much I love this one. I hope you guys love this idea and want to try it. Let me know if you think you're going to try to do something like this. I can't believe how good it came out. If you enjoyed this video and this is your kind of thing, then definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you can become part of my YouTube family, and you'll always be notified when my next video goes live. For this project, I am using one of these like Cork heat pads, like a trivet. They come 3 in a pack. And then remember those little round things? This is what it looked like before I cut the whole thing in half. So for this one, I'm going to use 6 of those little rounds, and I'm going to cut them out in 2 rows of 3. And then what I'm going to do is use a combination of E6000 and hot glue to attach them to the very base of this little cork round. And this is going to be such a cute little plant stand. So there I am putting the E6000 on and then hot glue on either side of it. And then I'm going to attach that directly to the edge of the cork round. And I'm going to do that on actually all 6 of those rounds. I'll attach each one, even though they're attached to each other in rows of 3. I still want to make sure there's a connection with all of them to the cork. And there I am now attaching the last one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some, it's actually like rope I got at Walmart. It's kind of thicker than like the Dollar Tree twine, for example. And I'm going to get a piece. At first I wasn't sure how long, so I was kind of wrapping the whole thing around. But I'm going to hot glue it to where each of those intersections of the rounds are. And I'm just going to go around like 3 times and then hot glue the end. I'm going to do that with all of them. Once I figured out what size piece, it was much easier to just cut the piece and do it without having to stick the whole roll through. And I'm going to keep securing that with hot glue to make sure it's very solid. And now I'm going to do all the rest, and there they are. And then I'm going to take one piece of twine, I'm going to put it, see, all the way around on the inside and hot glue it in between each of those intersections to make sure that it's secure. I've got 4 wood beads that I had ordered on Amazon, always in my Amazon store if I say that. And I'm going to attach that with a combination of E6000 and hot glue as well. And those will be the little legs. So it's like a planter riser. And I'm going to show you in the reveal what it looks like without a plant in it and with a plant sitting in it. And I think it's so beautiful. It's like farmhouse boho. My sister-in-law is going to get this as a present too, and that's her style. So I really, really think she's going to like this. For this project, I'm going to use this really large planter from Ikea. It was only $1, and it's got kind of a rough feeling on the outside so I don't have to prime it. I'm going to use the celery color chalk paint by Waverly. I also got these napkins at Ikea. They are 3-ply. They're gorgeous. So for that first like kind of row around the top there, I'm going to use 2 coats of the celery color by Waverly. I love that color so much. It's beautiful. Then I'm going to separate my plies because if it's 3-ply, you got to remove 2 pieces. I learned this trick from my friend Kathy Jo at Kathy Jo DIYs, that if you put a piece of tape on the back and you pull it apart, it will help separate the plies. Now, I've always had a pretty easy time getting the first ply off, but when there's 3 plies, that last one has always been really hard. So you see how easy that just came off? I put another piece of tape, and look at this. I was able to separate it so easily. I used to spend ridiculous amounts of time doing this, so this is an awesome hack. Thank you, Kathy Jo. Now I'm going to take this. At first I took a big piece of the napkin and started using Mod Podge to put it on, and then I started cutting it into thinner strips. It was a lot easier to manage in thinner strips, and it's a pretty busy pattern, so it's okay if they don't match up perfectly. So just lay down the Mod Podge and then carefully put down the napkin. And I do use saran wrap over it to help smooth it, because if you get your fingers wet, it starts pulling the napkin up and ripping it. So I just laid it down. There's my saran wrap, and that just really made a difference. Because it was a round surface, I didn't use my brayer. It was just easier to use my hands. And now you see I'm starting to use strips. You know, you get smarter as you do it. And it does make it a lot easier. So I'm only going to do that for those 3 rows in the middle. So the top row is the celery color. I'm going to put the napkin on the 3 rows, if you will, in the middle. And then I'm going to use a different paint color in a minute. I'll show you on the bottom. And now I'm just taking pieces. I'm going to cut little pieces just to fill in the gaps. Try to make a match. Not perfect. And honestly, once it's all done, you don't even notice. So this is just a very forgiving project, very easy. And it really does end up looking very high end. I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and make sure there's no excess hanging over the top. Then I'm going to take my moss color by Waverly, which is slightly darker than celery. I'm going to do that whole bottom row and the very bottom of this planter. And I think it's just gorgeous. And I'm going to take my 1 coat, polyurethane, and I'm going to put like 2 or 3 coats on it because this will probably sit outside and I want to make sure it's good. I'm also using nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. It was a 3-strand cord. I separated the 3 strands from part of it and used single strands. And then up at the top there, I used 2 strands together, and then I put single on either side. I really like the pattern that it created. So 3 below the Mod Podge, 3 above, the double, and then a single on either side at the top. I love this one. It's gorgeous. This is also a gift for my sister-in-law. I've got this rug from Ikea. It's just a really nice kind of neutral cream color. It's got some nice fringed ends. It's 100% cotton, by the way. And then I've also used my sublimation printer, and I designed in Canva. It says Gardener's Garden. That's their last name. And then I'm going to take a rotary cutter and all of my quilting mat and tools, and I'm just going to cut it into pieces because I want to make kind of a rectangular pillow. I'm going to press it with my Cricut Easy Press because it's kind of folded up, so I was trying to straighten it out as much as possible. Now I'm going to put the fringe on the inside because when it's turned right side out, that needs to be on the outside. And I'm using these little clamp clips, whatever, from the Dollar Tree to hold it down. I'm going to use a combination of Beacon Fabric Tack Glue and hot glue. I gotta tell you, between the two of these, it's solid. I mean, I cannot believe how well this is put together. I wasn't sure how this is gonna work. I didn't feel like getting my sewing machine out, and this is too thick to run through a machine unless I had a special foot for it. So I just literally went crazy with the Beacon Fabric Tack Glue and the hot glue, and it just really, really worked. And then I clamped it shut to give it time to dry. And once I had it the way I wanted, it left a little spot open. I reached in and I turned it right side out. There it is. And then I'm going to put my mat underneath it for the heat press. I'm going to take some parchment paper, and then I had mirrored my design so it would go on right. And then I put some parchment paper over it so it won't ruin the fabric. And then I just looked up, the instructions to see how long it needed to sit under the heat press. And look at this. It is now sublimated into the pillow. And then I've got some extra pillow stuffing left over from an old pillow. I always save the stuffing. And I'm just going to put as much in there as I can. And then I'm going to turn the edges in so that creates a nice clean seam. And again, using the Beacon Fabric Tack Glue and the hot glue and those clips, I'm going to just do little pieces at a time so that I can make sure that I get it nice and solid and closed up. And I did part way, and then I filled it some more because I really wanted this pillow to be nice and stuffed. It's going to sit on a cute little patio couch, and they have burgundy in different colors, so this is a perfect neutral color to go with whatever they do. So now I have glued it together, and I'm removing my clamps, and look how good this came out. It's solid, you guys, and it's a nice thick fabric because it's really a rug. So don't hesitate to use things like rugs and placemats and all different things to make pillows. They do such a great job. I loved how it turned out. Now, here's one last look at all 5 of these projects. So 4 of these projects went to my sister-in-law for her 50th birthday. I did keep the cutting board, but I love how they turned out. I really hope you like them. And don't forget to check out DIY Beauty on Purpose, Leah Knapp's channel. The link will be down in my description box. You will love her. Thank you so much for watching my video. I truly appreciate it. And I want you to know that you are a blessing to me. If you enjoyed this video, I've got more videos on the screen. Be sure to click one of them next, and I'll see you there. Bye.